Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Al Stock Trades. In this video, we're going to go in and do a recap on the fixed stock analysis. We're not going to talk about the nuts and bolts of the company. We're just going to do a recap on basically what happened to the stock price, right? Just kind of a surface level analysis. I would even call it analysis. What's interesting here, we streamed this at December 17. And I'm very wanted to basically talk about the sentiment of the retail community during that time and how just crazy has the retail and Wall Street community sentiment changed over the course of literally a month and a half. I find that really interesting and marvelous to watch. Now, if you go ahead and go to the fixed stock price at around December 17, I believe that was on a weekend, hence why I'm making this video now on a weekend when the stock market's closed. If you look at this and go to where it's at, the company has increased 36.65%. So if you would have put $100,000, that's literally a $36,000 increase in the span of a month and a half, or whatever ratio and whatever you want to put in and do the calculation as. But regardless, you can see that you might basically ask yourself, well, the stock's dropped. How do you think it's going to drop more? Well, that's why we did our intrinsic value calculation, which basically showed the value of the stock to be anything around, it would be say $9 to $12 region, and we had a base case and a bull case, and we did a whole analysis regarding. You can watch the video here. It's a really good video, right? But what's interesting here is that we got some, pushback in terms of people saying, "Hey, what about all the lawsuits being filed against them?" And I particularly said, don't read the titles and of the lawsuits. Actually, read what they entail. Likewise, I just made a video. Then over here, one of our beloved subscribers, cool, maybe I'll buy them around $1.50. I'll give it another year of waiting. And unfortunately, this is basically the sentiment of the retail community during December 17. But as you can see, the company didn't go to $1. The company went up to $9.47. Now, what's interesting here is, and I had a whole bunch of list of other stocks I wanted to talk about, Meta and whatnot. There were literally about 30, 40 stocks that I wanted to basically talk about on the community. I just didn't have time because I felt like every time I made a particular video, I got a bunch of, oh, well, look at this, look at that, look at this. And I've already looked at those things, but it's good. It's good to question. I just didn't have time because I was busy at the hospital. But, like, for example, one of the companies that I had on my list was Meta, and Meta's literally doubled in the past literally month and a half as well. So, what's interesting is I just find it so marvelous of how the Wall Street / retail community sentiment changes, right? But, in terms of this stock, a lot of smart money was buying, hence why I showed you here what is smart money basically doing in regards to Ray Dalio, Jim Simmons, George Soros, Ray Dalio again, Jim Simmons, and it just list of all the legendary investors. And it's unfortunate because even after showing you about institutions having 77% ownership of the company, when in reality, in terms of individual insiders controlling 23%, while really not a lot of retail investors in the stock, you can see that even then, people sadly still believe that the stocks would drop. I mean, $1.50 was literally such a big drop from that $6 region in which we talked about the company, $6.90 to be exact, I think, right? So the goal of this video is just to kind of recap of where FIGS is headed. Another company we talked about is, I believe, SBNY, which is basically soared 22%. It's a good banking company. And we talked about it when it was literally down here, and it's been up literally on a rampage, right? So that's the sad part about, going in and going against the grain, right? When everyone's bullish, you got to, kind of be bearish. When everyone's bearish, you got to be somewhat bullish, right? Be fearful when others are greedy and be greedy when others are fearful. Again, that's all I have for this video. If you want access to our lifetime access for our mastering and bundle courses on our alstocktrades.com website, you can use the coupon code HOTFEVER, which is our Valentine's Day special. But overall, guys, I just want to basically point this out to my subscribers to just talk about and just look at the market psychology, right? Everyone is, every time a stock basically dips a little during a bull market, everyone says, be greedy when others are fearful. But when the whole NASDAQ S&P 500 dropped over 20%, then all of a sudden people just don't care about those things. They think the market's going to continue going down and they become so bearish. And they don't basically take their analysis and basically utilize the income statement, balance sheet, and statement of cash flows, because they don't know how to use this. They don't know how to use these criterions to help them with their analysis, because they were never taught this. And the sad part is, one of the ways of being wealthy, of actually the starting point of any place of being wealthy, is real estate and basically owning an asset. But if you can't do that, if you don't understand financial literacy and understand what is a terminology and how does money move around in the economic form, which is why we created this channel, to help educate, stimulate, and inspire the next, generation of retail investors. So I hope this video really, I had like 20, 30, 40 other stocks I wish we talked about, but they're in our stock terminal, and that's to basically thank all the individuals that have supported our mission to develop a stock terminal that basically will, I believe personally, be way better than the Bloomberg terminal. Right? So overall, guys, that's all I have for you. Consider subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing. And I would love to hear your opinion on the matter during this particularly semi-quasi bullish time point we're in right now. And how is your psychology, and how has, now basically looking at the comments that we've experienced on the Reddit page and on our YouTube channel, how has that changed your perspective now that you have this experience in the market? I thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you on the next one.